always difficult to find a cleaning product that's tough on dirt but gentle on delicate surfaces and cookware. Look no further than Chuck's non-scratch scour scrubs. They are made with a specially designed, gentle but effective scour pad that scrubs off stubborn dirt but is gentle on non-stick cookware and bakeware. The angled shape makes the scour sponge easy and comfortable to hold, whether you're scrubbing off dirt and grime or washing your dishes. They're great for cleaning delicate surfaces like glass stovetops or even your favorite tea set. When you're done, rinse off your Chuck's non-scratch scour scrubs and hang it by the tap to dry hygienically. It can even be cleaned in the dishwasher. Whether you're using the Chuck's non-scratch scour scrub to wash your dishes or clean your kitchen, this handy utensil will make the job easier.
Yeah, let's go to Real Love.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Are you in there?
Yeah. Seeing into your eyes makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. Reaching beyond the skies, running deep, stretching wide. Perfect love realized, you with you. This love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. It's more than just words that beyond our control, out of control. This is real love, this is real love. And this is real love, this is real love. Oh.
Don't sing it.
You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart till the very end. And Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is real love, this is real love. I'm found. I want you, you won't let me down. You got me, you got me. This love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. It's more than just words, love beyond our control, out of control. Pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart till the very end. And Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is real love, this is real love.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso only on SABC3. And man, what a Feel Good Thursday it is. Hillsong just sound checking and they sound amazing. They sound amazing. Don't miss that performance in just a little bit. Right now though, let's get into your local entertainment news. What the star's getting up to.
Well, you know what, just from that sound check, I feel like the mood's been lifted.
Yeah.
And of course, we have to say congratulations to Ntando Duma and Junior De Rocca. Now, the young couple, they've officially welcomed their baby girl into the world. And taking to social media, Ntando confirmed the news with a photo of the little one, as well as a tweet that reveals that they have named her Sibashle Lisakanya Mzizi. Absolutely beautiful.
Man. Congratulations.
Now, yes, congratulations are in order. Now, Junior also took to, well, he's also on that proud parent train, sharing a photo of himself on Instagram, captioning it that there's the best day of his life and that he looks forward to fatherhood. So congratulations to the happy couple.
That is awesome, man. Congratulations.
Sweet. Absolutely adorable. Well, listen, on a more serious note, it feels like just the other day that we had actor Marius Veyers in studio with us talking about his latest film. So naturally, we are sad to hear that the veteran actor actor is in hospital.
Oh, no.
Now, according to reports, Marius underwent heart surgery earlier this week and thankfully is recovering well. Now, we've reached out to Marius's agency for comment on this report. However, they have advised that they could not comment. Either way, we do wish Marius well and a speedy recovery.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, he's such an absolute gem in the South African film industry and a phenomenal person at that as well. So definitely, yeah, wishing him a speedy recovery.
That's it.
All right, well, that's it.
That's
Okay,
it.
well,
That's
so
our
we
local
said that's it.
entertainment
That
news for
means
you.
that's it. Okay. We're going to bring you the international entertainment news a little bit later on this morning. Stick around for that. Right now, though, the weekend is just around the corner. We're talking movies.
Yes, indeed, we are. The weekend is fast approaching, which means we have an opportunity to get back into the cinemas across the land. Let's find out what movies are raking in the big bucks on the South African top 5 on our box office.
This is the South African top 5 box office hits over the last weekend. Some people stay in the darkness and Baywatch slips into spot 5. It's now possible to say this in 2017. I miss Brendan Fraser. The abysmal Mummy remake is 4th. Now the highest earning female directed live action movie Wonder Woman drops a spot to 3rd. The cars all have door handles in a world with no humans. What went down? Aside from Cars 3 to number 2. And predictably, Transformers The Last Night is our mind-numbing number 1, and so far the critics' worst for 2017.
And that is what is currently trending on our local box office. Mr. JP Sebastian, love the voiceover there for our top 5, man. Thank you so much. Your singing of the Baywatch theme tune. That I especially
if you request
enjoy.
it, here goes.
I especially enjoy that. So some interesting movies currently trending. A couple of big hitters there. Great to see Wonder Woman still dominating. But let's look at what is breaking on the horizon. Paris Can Wait.
Paris Can Wait indeed. So, it's up to you, I suppose. So if you're a fan of like Nights in the Rodanthe, which also had Diane Lane in it, if you liked Under Tuscan Sun, it's a sort of wistful sort of romance. The story being that Alec Baldwin is her inattentive husband. He is a film producer, so he's torn away by his work very often. And they go to Cannes, and she needs to make her way to Paris to meet him there, rendezvous with her husband in between his work schedules. And she gets...
she meets a Frenchman.
Of course. A Frenchman always whisks you away and takes you on a wonderful journey of culinary delights and the sights and whatnot. So, she starts to realize her joie de vivre again. Gets her
groove back.
Groove back is the French
we might have
term.
seen this one before in a different guise, man, but Diane Lane, powerhouse lead there. Then Outcasts.
Outcasts is a
cool
teen comedy you've got going on here. The story being, it sounds very familiar, I suppose, to Mean Girls. So one of the outcasts, one of the more geeky types, I suppose, is she has a prank played on her. A prank played on her is very hard to say, by Miss Popular in the school, who just showed up at the right time, and decides to band together an alliance of all the weirdos in the school and all those on the fringes, those on the outskirts, to get revenge on, I suppose, the 1% of high school. So teen comedy, school holidays coming up, maybe not a bad bet.
See the youngster from the middle in there as well.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, very cool.
Eden Show.
Big waves. In fact, someone stopped me this morning to tell me how cool this movie is. Once Upon a Time in Venice, Bruce Willis, John Goodman. That is power.
Jason Momoa as well.
Cool.
And what I really like about him is he's not afraid to, take the Mickey out of himself.
Brilliant.
He isn't falling into this like pretty boy trap. There he is right now with his
Your timing is
handlebar moustache. A little devotion to Hulk Hogan, no doubt. So the story is that Bruce Willis is this private investigator who falls into the wrong circles, in this case being Jason Momoa, who's a drug dealer, needs him to obtain some drugs that has gone missing. To do that, to get him to do this job for them, he steals Bruce Willis's dog. So sounds like John Wick.
Come on, man.
But it's
That's
a comedy.
rough, man.
But not Jason Goodman, John Goodman, one of my favorites. Pete, our cameraman, is blushing back there. He knows I want to call him on for a review.
You're gonna have to add an extra popcorn just on there for Pete. Then All Eyes on Me.
I would prefer that you turn them away at this point.
Oh no!
No,
man.
it is not the biopic that Tupac Shakur deserves. So hey, there you.
What lets it down?
What lets it down? It feels like scrolling a Wikipedia page of the guy. So if you know his story, if you're one of his fans, it's not going to feel like a revelation. It's not going to feel enlightening. And it fails in that, not fails, but like it misses the opportunity
opportunity to be prescient, to be pertinent.
Yeah.
To, you know, you've got stories that you just saw him, they've been beaten by some cops. Like Black Lives Matter at
There was
present.
an opportunity
but,
there,
but they skirt all that to try and do a by the numbers sort of thing. Oh, did we cover that? Did we cover that? Did we cover that? And not in a way that's very inspired at all. Stylistically,
I mean, the youngster Demetrius Shipp Jr. is a dead ringer as well. Which
he's not bad though, surprisingly. So.
Okay, well, there is our offering at the box office. Of course, the big one this weekend. Steve Carell is back for Double the Trouble in Despicable Me 3. So we're going to review that a little bit later this morning. I can't wait to find out how many popcorns, JP. Love your work, dude. Love your work. So with school holidays upon us, we have another very exciting Expresso New Metro Movie Club giveaway. This time, a movie that the whole family can enjoy, especially the dads and the little ones. Gru and his havoc-wrecking minions are back in Despicable Me 3, and they have an unexpected guest through Gru's long-lost twin brother, Drew, who wants to team up for one last criminal heist. The minions are going big for this one, and because of that, we are giving away five double tickets to go and see the film in New Metro's awesome Extreme Cinemas at Canal Walk, at Ballito Junction, Clearwater Mall, and the Glen, and of course Menlyn Park Extreme as well. And Extreme means that world-class sound is thrown in, including overhead speakers on some of SA's largest cinema screens. You can stand a chance of winning and seeing the brothers in action simply by SMSing the keyword Despicable, you're going to have to look it up if you can't spell it, plus your name and city to 40675. And remember, you need to add the city in which you're able to watch the screening. And we want to find out, will the third installment in the franchise live up to all the hype of its predecessors? Will the brothers work together? Or will it be a battle of Gru versus Drew? Enter and you can find out.
Find the best entertainment at New Metro Cinemas. It's your scene.
Well, I think myself and Zoe is in agreement that we cannot wait to see that movie. So, JP,
cool.
if you give this movie anything less than 9 popcorns, I promise you, sir, I'll unfriend you on social media, okay? I'm just saying. But listen, stick around with us on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Lots more Lekker vibes heading your way. We're going to take a look at all of those what's trending stories, in particular one that I'm looking forward to. A little boy who tries to beat the heat by turning to the hosepipe. But what makes it funny is the fact that he's scared of water and he negotiates with the hosepipe. Man, it's adorable.
You do not want to miss out on that. And then this morning, we're going to raise the roof a little. We're going to start off your Thursday on the right note because Hillsong, they're in studio this morning, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you after the break.
Other thing, can you record it from that side when we're going? Just now. Thanks, bro.
Staring into your eyes makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. Reaching beyond the skies, running deep, stretching wide. Perfect love realized here with you. This love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. It's more than just words that beyond our control, out of control. This is real love, this is real love. And this is real love, this is real love. Oh. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart till the very end. And Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. And this is real love, this is real love. No, I'm found. I want you, you won't let me down. You got me. This love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. It's more than just words of beyond our control, out of control. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart to the very end. And Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is real love, this is real love. Oh. suddenly brought to life when I met you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
At Samsung, we develop technology so you can live life. Samsung, a way of life.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Thursday morning. Time to have a little devious fun, tracking what is trending online. This one I'm really excited about.
Man, we've been talking about this whole morning so far. It's a story about a little boy who thought that playing with the garden hose is a good way to kind of cool down. Now, he's afraid to get wet, so he tries to negotiate with the hose pipe. But much to his shock and to our entertainment, he gets sprayed in the face.
Don't do it.
Okay, come on, buddy.
Come on, do it.
Oh, man. He took it on the chin, literally. Took it on the chin.
You can see the surprised look in his face, man. That's too cute.
Man, well, try not to laugh. Try not to laugh. No, well, it's going to be difficult with this one, but I think I drew the short straw with this one. I don't know. Should I laugh or should I be really sad? I don't know. So Liz Hobson was spreading her late mother's ashes. Okay, so that sets the scene. No. This was from a bridge in England. Don't laugh, Zoe. Come on. No. When a strong wind happened to blow, maybe it was her mother's sense of humor playing through in the end, but she had a sense of humor about it as well.
Can we see that one more time?
Just
one more time if we can.
I'm sure it's not the first time that has actually happened.
Look, there we go.
Oopsie. She should have been on that side of the bridge.
But at least she fixes her hair quickly.
At least she's still smiling after.
Okay.
Sorry,
well, you guys know when it comes to animals, I have a sensitive heart for them. But have you ever wondered what your pet might be up to while you're at work or away from home?
Yeah.
Well, Bored Panda, they've compiled a list of funny photos, and the captions that go with them is just absolutely hilarious. Look at that. Caught him in the act. That is very cute. Stealing the baby's food. Stealing my garden shoe since 2010.
There we go.
Doesn't even regret. I don't know how they get the photos, but it's brilliant.
He only regrets getting caught. Wow, that's brilliant. I know my pets are
it makes you wonder what Sailor's getting up to when you're not there, eh?
Oh, he doesn't know what's waiting for him tomorrow.
I've found Lola, my puppy, inside Jack's Moses basket with a dummy in her mouth. Okay, I know what y'all are getting up to, you pets. Man, you can let us know which hashtag video or story has caught your attention online this morning. Share your thoughts with us on our Facebook page or our Twitter account using the Expresso Show hashtag. Now, we have been building them up, and with good reason. They are truly phenomenal. This morning, we are joined by the Hillsong SA worship team as we approach the end of Youth Month, sadly, for some inspirational music this morning. They'll be presenting their annual Encounter Youth Conference. That's for all young people, grades 7 to 12 and ages 18 to 25. And in a day and age where our lives are ruled by social media, the pressure to fit in is literally an everyday struggle. And if you feel like I'm speaking to you right now, then this song is just for you. It's Real Love.
Staring into your eyes makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. Reaching beyond the stars, running deep, stretch wide. Perfect love realized here with you. This love is for real, you will never let go, never let go. It's more than just words, love beyond our control, out of control. And this is real love, this is real love. And this is real love, this is real love. Oh. Holding my heart to the very end. And Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. And this is real love, this is real love. You're all I'm about. I want you, you won't let me down. 'Cause you got me, you got me. This love is for real, you will never let go. Never let go. control, out of control. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart till the very end. And Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is real love, this is real love. Oh. Makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. This is real love. This is real love. This is real love. This is real love.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a bow. Please take a bow. Oh, guys, some authenticity, some real love. Do we need it now more than ever? Andrea Tyron, welcome to it, guys. Thank you so much. That was awesome. I always feel like you need like 1,000 people in front of you jumping up and down, because that was just too cool. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I know for you guys, Youth Month is a massively important time, because you get to connect with people on a much bigger level, where there is a platform to deal with issues. And I'm so glad that you are focusing on the cyberspace, in particular bullying. What is the vibe with this year's Encounters?
So yeah, Encounter Conference is our annually our youth young adults conference, and it's just an awesome movement where young people just glorify God, put faith in the hearts of young people to build the local church in this nation. And so this year particularly we're focusing on two causes, which is our war campaign, which is our war against rape campaign, awesome. Focusing on rape, the injustice of rape, and then as well as reasons why not, which is kind of like suicide is a big thing amongst teenagers and young adults, and just opening the conversation, talking about that. Yeah.
How open is that conversation, Andrea, at the moment? Because these are pretty heavy subjects to deal with. Are young people ready to talk about these things? Is this an open conversation?
Yeah, I think it's a conversation that should be made open, especially for us as a local church. It's something we want to bring to light and things like that, because many of the things that young people are going through right now, like I haven't even faced that when I was younger, so it's quite intense, and we just believe that if you bring it to light, there's more power in that than to keep it hidden, and when we speak up about it, there's unity in that, and people can come alongside you and, you know, encourage you and help you through that.
I think, and I'm getting goosebumps as you say that, I think because this really is what it's all about. There is such a positive platform to spread positive thoughts and change. It's really beautiful. You can get all of those details on screen right now from the 12th to the 14th of July at the Hillsong Church here in Cape Town, and of course Johannesburg and Pretoria as well, guys. Thank you so much. But you're going to stick around. We've got another performance coming. Yeah, he was dancing behind the scenes. And a big thank you to Golden Circle as well for supplying the technical equipment. Let's get back into our official duties with the news.
Oh, what a way to start your Thursday. Thank you, Graham. Right now, let's take a look at your news headlines early on your Thursday morning. In your national news, the High Court in Johannesburg yesterday ordered public schools across the country not to favour any specific religion. Judge Willem van der Linde ruled that choosing one religion over another violates the School Act. He said public schools must cater for the needs of learners from all religious backgrounds. The court upheld a challenge by the Organisation for Religious Education and Democracy to the Christian-focused culture of 6 public schools. Then Anglo Gold Ashanti is embarking on retrenchments that could see 8,500 workers lose their jobs, seen by some as the first to hit the mining industry as a consequence of the mining charter. However, the mining company said it is part of restructuring certain of its business units. Mineral Resources Minister Mozabenzwi Zwane will meet with the Anglo Gold CEO tomorrow to be briefed on all the issues. The Chamber of Mines, which represents 90% of the industry, has applied for an urgent court interdict to stop the implementation of the charter. In your international news this morning, the Venezuelan military is hunting for a rogue elite police officer suspected of carrying out a helicopter attack on the country's Supreme Court. Oscar Perez posted Instagram videos admitting the attack and calling on Venezuelans to rise up against the government of President Nicolas Maduro. The officer's home has been searched as the president put the entire military on alert, citing a terrorist attack. The country is in the midst of a deep economic and political crisis. And then lastly, Kenya is the first country in Africa to introduce a generic version of the current drug of choice for people living with HIV, officials have said yesterday. Kenya's government and the Global Health Initiative UNITAID announced that the East African nation will make the generic version of dolutegravir available for routine use. It will be distributed free of charge as part of the country's free antiretroviral program in public hospitals. That's a wrap of your news headlines for the 7 o'clock bulletin.
Cricket first this morning in our Global Sport Watch, as the South African women's cricket team had to settle for a share of the spoils yesterday as their World Cup game against New Zealand. The White Ferns was abandoned due to rain, so without a ball being bowled, the no result means South Africa move up from 5th to 2nd place on the overall standings, while New Zealand currently occupy that top spot. The Women's World Cup continues today as the West Indies take on India. Then on to football. Chile booked their place in the final of the Confederations Cup last night after seeing out a 3-0 penalty victory over Portugal. After a goalless 90 minutes and extra time, Chilean goalkeeper Claudio Bravo was on fire, the man of the moment, as he saved all 3 Portugal penalties to help his side move on to that final game. So Chile's opponents in that final will be decided tonight as World Cup holders Germany, albeit a young-looking German side, come up against Mexico in the second semi-final. And staying with football, match day 4 of the COSAFA Cup took place yesterday, and it saw a goalless draw in the game between Zimbabwe and Madagascar. And despite the shade points, Zimbabwe keep their place at the summit of Group B, while Madagascar, they lie in second with 1 round of group fixtures still remaining. There is more COSAFA Cup action tonight as Malawi face off against Angola and Tanzania battle Mauritius. Then we round off on an incredibly celebratory note. Olympic gold medalist Wade van Niekerk has done it again. It's Wade van Niekerk Day every day. He broke the 300-meter world record by 0.4 seconds last night at the Golden Spike meeting in Ostrava. Van Niekerk stormed to victory in a time of 30.81 seconds, beating the previous record of 30.85 set by the great American Michael Johnson in Pretoria, believe it or not, 17 years ago. And also on the night, Jamaica's Usain Bolt crossed the line first in the 100-meter sprint in a time of 10.06 seconds. But can we have another cheer for Mr. Wade van Niekerk, you legend? And that is where we round off our sport this morning.
Well, let's take another look at your traffic, starting off in Gauteng and Randburg. There's a stationary vehicle on the N1 northbound. It's in the right lane after the Bayers Nadir Drive exit, so you can expect delays approaching the scene. In Durban and Chatsworth, as usual, there are the delays on the M1 Higginson Highway eastbound, heading towards the N2 highway. If you're in Cape Town, in Athlone, on the N2 inbound, there's some congestion building between Danafontein Road as well as the Hospital Bend. That's where we leave your traffic for now on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Just a few minutes past 7 o'clock. Let's quickly get into your weather for your Thursday morning. It looks like most parts of the country can expect rather chilly temperatures this morning, with mostly sunny conditions, with some rain expected for Cape Town tomorrow. But for your temperatures today, Polokwane begin op 4 grade minimum en 'n maximum van 21, Mbombela 8:21, Pretoria 5 grade minimum en 'n maximum van 21 grade, Johannesburg 4:19, Mahikeng 8:23, Klerksdorp begin op 5 grade minimum en 'n maximum van 21, Kimberley 4:18, Bloemfontein lekker koud -1 en 'n maximum van 18, Richards Bay 15:21, Pietermaritzburg 7:18, Durban 15 en 'n maximum van 20, Mthatha 4 grade minimum, dit styg na 18, East London starting off on 13 with a maximum of 20, Cradock 5:18, Port Elizabeth on 10 minimum and a maximum of 20, George 8:19, Sutherland starting off on 4 this morning, staying cool with a maximum of 13, Cape Town 10:17, Worcester 5:19, Springbok 4 and a maximum of 19, and Uppington kicking off on 9 degrees minimum with a warmer 22 maximum later. That's a wrap of your weather for the 7 o'clock bulletin. I'm back with one last take on the temperatures just after 8.
Book on Travel Start. We will turn your guilt trips into good trips.
So time to connect with you once again on social media. And could there be any other story dominating everybody's timeline this morning? It is yet another International Wait for Nico Day. Yoo-hoo! Our legend of a sprinter has done it again. Poppy Matubela saying, our Wade van Niekerk done it again. There you can see his new world record in the 300 meters, 30.81. Unbelievable stuff. Doesn't look like he even broke a sweat. James Dick saying Wade van Niekerk breaks another Michael Johnson record. This one, 17 years that record has stood. African Eskimo Wade van Niekerk breaks the 300-meter world record. And this is pretty much trending absolutely everywhere. And I love the memes coming through as well. Wade van Niekerk, you have made us so proud, my friend. And we get some cheers there all the way from the US. But this man is having a phenomenal year, and of course about a month away from the international IAAF Next World Championships. This is a very good sign. Can we have another cheer for Mr. Wade van Niekerk? Yay!
Wade van Niekerk, man, we get to declare it once again, National Wade van Niekerk Day. Unbelievable. This man is phenomenal. Listen, stick with us on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Lots more Feel Good vibes heading your way. We're going to show you and teach you how to save and budget a little bit better. We know that, man, that is a tough challenge. And then in the kitchen, a delicious pecan millionaire shortbread recipe is going to have your mouth watering. Don't miss it. That and a whole lot more after the break. Yes. Dr. Charlotte, good morning.
Yeah, morning, Johan. How are you?
Good. There you go. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good, thank you.
Fantastic. All right. You can hear me good? Yeah?
I can hear you just perfectly.
Fantastic. All right. Cool. All right, Dr. Charlotte, we've got about a minute left before we go live.
Okay.
Cool. Oh, well, some of live hands have been banned. How does this affect? How does this affect? Really been purchased. Should H5 and H5 and H. Welcome back. You tune into your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso only on SABC3. Thank you for choosing to spending your Thursday morning with us. Right now, on a rather serious note, the country has been on high alert since the very first ever outbreak of H5N8 avian flu in South Africa was reported in Mpumalanga last week. Now, the government has moved to ban the sale of live poultry following the confirmation of a second case in Standerton on Monday night. Now, to discuss what this means for the poultry industry and the South African public, we are joined on the line by Dr. Charlotte Nkuna, Senior Executive at the South African Poultry Association. Dr. Charlotte, good morning and welcome.
Morning, Yolaan. Morning, team.
Thank you very much for joining us on the line. Let's talk about this. Is there serious concern for the outbreaks that we have seen so far?
Yes. The main concern for us is if the outbreak spread outside of where it is currently. So that's why we're on high alert to make sure that it doesn't move outside the area.
Now, while the sale, of course, of live hens have been banned, how does this affect poultry that have already been purchased but not consumed yet?
All the meat and eggs that are in supermarkets and shops is safe to eat. So consumers should not be worried about what they've bought already or what they would be buying at the shops at the moment, because the farms that have been affected, nothing has moved from there to retail or to the shops after the outbreak.
Okay, so it is so, because I mean it's still cause for serious concern, I think, for the general public. Well, let's talk about some symptoms. I mean, what are some of the symptoms should an H5N8 carrier, to look out for? Should they be presenting with these symptoms? I mean, what should you also do or start acting upon?
The most important symptom is when you see more than normal dead birds. So when the birds start dying in big numbers, then that's probably the only symptom that is telling at the moment, because the birds don't show much before they die.
Okay. Now I know that South Africa's neighbouring countries have suspended poultry imports from South Africa, and that's just as a measure of safety. How long is this likely to last? And I mean, how will this affect in turn our poultry industry?
Under normal circumstances, most countries would want you to have 3 months clean test before they accept your product. But in this case, with our neighboring countries, we may be able to negotiate to still either have it sooner or to be able to continue trading with them using establishments that have been registered for export, which are very tightly controlled.
Now, you spoke about the symptoms in terms of the poultry a little bit earlier on. Let's get back to the symptoms. What does it hold for humans? Should humans contract the virus? I mean, what advice could you give, and what should we be looking out for?
And at this moment, people don't have to worry about this virus. It has been circulating in Europe for more than a year, and there have not been any human cases. So it doesn't seem to affect people, this kind of virus.
Okay, still we just need to be cautious. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Charlotte, and I'm sure we'll get an update from you pretty soon as well as to where we are standing with the situation.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks, viewers.
Thank you very much. That was Dr. Charlotte joining us on the line talking about the H5N8 outbreak. But we are definitely hoping that these actions enacted by the government and the poultry industry will allow us for the swift and effective containment of the situation.
Oh, well, listen, it's your feel-good breakfast show. Time for us to now turn our attention to some fitness. We have Johry in studio, Maralies with them today, and it's all about a full-body workout in winter.
Morning, Zoe.
Morning.
It is all about a full-body workout. So if there's one workout that you do every day at home,
it's this one. Okay, cool.
The Triple X workout. It hits every muscle group, all the elements: cardio, strength, flexibility.
And what's cool about this workout is something you can do in the comfort of your own home.
Yes.
So you're going to run us through something.
Yeah, so we're going to start. Obviously, you'll do a nice warm-up before this. Some arm swings, leg swings, keep it dynamic.
Okay.
Right, we're going to do the first set. It's 3 combo sets. You'll do this at home for a minute. So set your timer for a minute, 30-second break in between before you switch, and it's a combo set. So the first one is the weighted round. We're going to start with goblet squat, wide goblet squats. So almost going into a sumo stance. And it's 6 reps.
Okay,
right?
let's
We're
go.
going to stick to that. So nice and low. 1, push the bum back. Imagine there's a door behind you and you're pushing it open to your bum. That's the right technique.
There we go.
2 to go. 1 and 2. All right. Switch into a dumbbell snatch. We're going to alternate. So this is more full body, bringing everything into play. So overhead snatch. Down. 1. That's it. We're going to go 3 aside. That's it.
You can feel that this one works every muscle, core,
That's
arms,
it.
legs.
So
There
that'll
we
be
go.
one set. In a minute, you're gonna AMRAP that, which is as many rounds as possible. Keep going for a minute, 30-second break, and then we'll go into the next one. We can move the weights out the way.
Okay.
Okay, the next one going into upper body. We'll leave the killer for last.
Okay.
Right, so 6 blast off push-ups. We're gonna work chest, back, and shoulders with this movement. You can do the ladies variation on your knee. Marlies, you can do the full ladies variation. And it's basically from here, starting at tuck back, push, and then at an angle, you're gonna push back. Clicking.
Yes, you are clicking.
All right, so it's 6 of those. Okay, walk it up. Then 1 power burpee, which is all the way down, push up, shoot, and a high jump.
Okay, if you said you needed the killer for the end, what is at the end?
Right, so we're keeping it slow. That's 1 burpee, 6, and you're gonna keep going.
Okay.
The last one, bringing mobility into play. So starting in a plank position, 6 reps as well, so 3 aside, spider lunges. It's that movement, but you're gonna speed it up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pop up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and jumping lunges. 1,
Jumping
2,
lunges.
3, 4, 5, 6, and repeat.
Awesome. Jory, thank you so much for joining us in studio. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, doing some fitness, especially during winter. As we know, summer bodies are made in winter. Well, listen, we're going to head on over into the kitchen to make a smoothie.
So as we put Jory's sprinting strength to the test here, and he makes his way across, we know that after a strenuous workout, it's great to replenish, step up my man, with something that is, of course, packed with nutrients, but also really tasty. This is my flavor palette right here, dude.
Monkey Monster, yeah.
I love what you've thrown in here, and we can see it's working. Dude, well done, first of all, on the bullyproof boxing performance.
Thank you.
The other day. Awesome, inspiring stuff. So what is going into our Power Blast here this morning? I'll do the scooping if you can hold the container.
Yeah, okay, so Monkey Monster, whenever you bring banana, peanut butter into a smoothie, it's
awesome.
It's a magic. Right, so just some low-fat yogurt or Greek yogurt, granola.
I like that, nicely toasted as well.
Right, that's your Greek yogurt. We've got some maple syrup.
Ah, very, very sneaky.
Right,
just pour it in, man.
That's it. That is vanilla.
Very nice.
And then we've got some cinnamon right here.
I love that, man. So health-wise, I mean, this tastes amazing. It almost looks too good to be true.
More your power smoothie, so when you know you've maybe got a big cardio session coming up, or just to put some, energy back into the system, this is a great one to have after a workout or early in the morning.
I love it, man. And you want it to taste nice, man. You want it to inspire you for the day ahead, so you're going to give that a blast. Of course, the key word here is drink to 33728. If you'd like this awesome ingredients list sent directly to you. And I like the spicy vibes, the cinnamon, the fact that you're throwing in vanilla. Beautiful.
Very specific taste that only cinnamon can add to it. And
dude, I love the fact that also you take such a strong focus on getting that summer body in winter. Don't wait until the last 2 weeks of winter to get into shape. You have an opportunity to really do some work on yourself and stay motivated. We forget about the motivational power of being fit and feeling freer and fitter. Dude, thank you so much.
I know, good winter for everyone.
Yeah, good winter to you as well. Well done. Zoe, taking her workouts in her stride now. I absolutely love it. So that keyword again is to drink to 33728. Cheers, boy.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, gents. Looks amazing. Perfect way to start your day. But still ahead on your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning, the incredibly talented alternative pop rock band Texas. They'll be touring South Africa all the way from the UK. We'll catch up with them and see what you can expect. And then the moment we've all been waiting for, JP Sebastian is reviewing Despicable Me 3. Don't miss it. So that's and a whole lot more after the break.
Struggle with commitment? Before trying anywhere else, book on Travel Start. We will turn your guilt trips into good trips. Book flights from 499 Rand, only on travelstar.co.za.
Hi, this is Charlene Spiteri from the band Texas, and I'm here on Expresso, so a big good morning to you all.
Yes. Cool. Can I have the questions on auto cue? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. That's fine. And it's Charlene Spiteri. Spiteri. Can we take this iPad? Cheers. Kan ek dit gou vir jou gee? Ruan. Kan ek jou 'n baie groot guns vra? Mag ek? Sal jy omgee vir my as 'n baie blief 'n koppie koffie te maak? Maar moet kitskoffie wees, soos 1 lepeltjie kitskoffie, 1 lepeltjie suiker en warm melk en melk. Warm water en melk.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso, and when a pop rock band makes its way to South Africa, we all sit up and listen, because hot on the heels of the release of their latest album, Jump on Board, earlier this year, chart-topping and effortlessly cool alternative pop rock band Texas, they'll be touching down in South Africa this summer for an exciting 2-city tour, and we have frontwoman Charlene Spiteri on the line all the way from the UK. Hi, Charlene.
Hi, this is Charlene Spiteri from the band Texas, and I'm here on Expresso, so a big good morning to you all.
Oh, well, good morning to you too, and welcome to Expresso. Now, Texas, they've released, I mean, you guys have producing hits for the last 3 decades. Looking back at your career, where was the realization that you've made it?
The realization that we've made it, I don't need, I guess when people hit you with stats and stuff, then yeah, you look at that and you kind of go, oh yeah, we've done really well, but I guess maybe part of the long success is that I guess maybe we don't think we've made it yet.
But there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm thinking you guys have produced several albums. Which one would you say embodies who Texas is more?
Oh, what album embodies? I don't think... I mean, there's certain albums that are, definitive moments in our careers. Like the first album, Southside, is a moment, and then you've got White on Blonde, which was '97, which is a definitive album that took us back into the public eye. And you know, a lot of people are saying with this new album, Jump on Board, that it's almost like a Greatest Hits Texas. It's got elements of all the almost 30 years of our career, little inklings of sounds and influences, whether that's the soul sound, a bit of this, you know, you just like guitar in the other country. There's elements of everything, and you know, we didn't intentionally try to do that with the new record. So I think, you know, there's a great catalogue, but probably White on Blonde would maybe be the album.
Oh, you know what? But let's talk about your most recent work, Jump on Board, that you released earlier this year. How would you describe the album?
It would, you know, we wanted to make a very upbeat, positive record, and you know, so far, I mean, everyone has said that. I mean, the record's done amazing. You know, got top 10 album all over Europe, and everybody says that it's a record that makes you feel very happy.
Well, you know what? We're looking forward to having you guys in South Africa. I need to ask you, what are you looking forward to South Africa, and is there anything specifically you'd like to do?
Yeah, we're really excited. We haven't played in South Africa in a long, long time. I was just in South Africa about almost 2 years ago now. I came in to do Top Gear, and I was lucky enough to drive. I had 6 days of driving in South Africa, and I have to say, I just saw the most amazing scenery, and I met the most amazing people. I ate the most amazing food, and we were so well looked after by everyone. And you know, I am really looking forward to coming back.
Oh, well, Charlene, we are looking forward to welcoming you back. Thank you so much for your time. And if you're looking forward to experiencing the sound of Texas, you can catch them in Cape Town at the Kirstenbosch Gardens. That will be on Friday, the 8th of December. And they'll also be in Johannesburg at the Emmarentia Gardens on Sunday, the 10th of December. So be sure to get your tickets now.
Wow, lovely interview. Talk about heavyweights here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, speaking of which, this weekend on the big screen, Despicable Me gets 3, and it's doubly diabolical as everyone's favorite villain finds a long-lost twin. So Steve Carell returns, voicing not only good old Grumpy Gru, but also his goofy, estranged twin brother, Drew. And we know that JP is clearly thrilled at the returning one-man voice antics of Pierre Coffin as every minion in the movie. So let's not keep him waiting any longer. Here's a look at Despicable Me 3.
Oh.
This is unexpected.
Well, you never got to go on a honeymoon, so... We made you dinner! It's a luau! We got pineapples and coconuts and ukuleles!
Oh, yay!
Hey, Yamaratika tika, hee-ha! Hey, Yamaratika tika, hee-ha! Ow, 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 hoo-tee-tee-tee-tee-tee, habu-hee-boo-bee-boo, babaloo.
The soup of the day, Madame and Monsieur. The gummy bears were my idea.
Looks too good to even eat. Am I right?
But I made it for you.
Oh. Good soup. I love the combination of gummy bears with meat.
Say it with me, banana, banana. You see, that's JP's face, that's my face. That looks too sweet for words.
I just want to say at the top there, like because you saw a child sabotaging his father's gift. Graham just told me that he used to put ants in his mom's food.
Not on purpose, you know. Come Mother's Day, you've got to get creative, man. I cannot wait. This really is a beautiful story that we've seen now evolve quite radically. We are seeing another family member enter the fray. And how does Gru react to Drew? What is this movie all about?
Well, there we go. Sums it all up. Actually, he's he's at first quite pleased to see him, but then notices that actually the dude's living the high life. Drew's been living on this island where he's got a mansion, he's got 1,000 cars that are all fancy and whatnot. Just at the point in Despicable Me 3, which is right at the start, where both Gru, sorry, I had to get the names right there. Both Gru and Kristen Wiig's character, I've forgotten the name. They get fired from the
agency,
the agency that they've been working for because they could not nab the diamond thief. What's his name? Brat.
That's played by Trey Parker.
Trey Parker from South Park, yes. So they get fired from that, and he finds his brother who's, while he's at a low point, the brother's at a high point, but he's this total doofus. He's a bit of an airhead, and asks Gru if he wants to go on this one final villainous mission. But Gru's like, "Oh, that's all behind me now," which in fact, peeves the minions a bit, who themselves peeve me. So they break ties with Gru. Travesty. No. And they try to go it on their own, but eventually, who knows? Maybe they join up, maybe they don't.
Oh, come on, dude. You're going to break my heart, man. But that prison scene is just, with a little Pharrell in the background, is something that needs to be seen. Is this for adults? Is it for kids? Can the adults go and watch it with the kids? Please say yes.
It's totally for kids. Please say So, it caught some sniggers from me. In fact, it was a full audience I was watching it with at the pre-screening, and the adults maybe cracked like 3 or 4 laughs from it, but yeah, mostly it's entirely for kids. Maybe there's not enough Minion for the kids out there, but it's weird that, you got the story of him, meeting this long-lost brother. They don't really sort of evolve that in an interesting way. They don't try to make anything sort of like politically even relevant to present day. It's very light, like it's possible as an entertaining kids movie. Adults, not so much for you.
Now, bearing in mind there are an army of Minions out there waiting to hear this answer, okay? How many popcorns?
Bring them on, I don't care.
Despicable Me 3 get?
I could kick Minions all day. 5.5 out of 10. It's not made for the adults, so that's basically excluding a lot of the audience. And you've got Steve Carell, you've got Kristen Wiig. These are, the word you used for Texas earlier. Yeah, powerhouse heavyweights. These are. You should find a way to do like improv with these people, especially as their strong point. Like allow them to just riff in the studio and whatnot. But it's all very quietly compartmentalized.
Boo for JP Sebastian. Boo.
Yay! Villain of the week.
He is the villain. Well, you can let us know what you think of it, because we're going to give you the opportunity to go and see it. With school holidays upon us, we've got another very exciting Expresso New Metro Movie Club giveaway. This time, a movie that the whole family can enjoy. I'm going to say that. Gru and his havoc-wreaking minions are back in Despicable Me 3, yes, and they've got an unexpected guest in the form of Gru's long-lost twin brother, Drew, who wants to team up for one last big criminal heist. So the minions are going big for this one, and because of that, we are giving away 5 double tickets to see the film in New Metro's awesome Extreme Cinemas at Canal Walk, Belito Junction, Clearwater Mall, the Glen and Menlyn Park shopping centres. And Extreme means world-class sound, including overhead speakers on some of South Africa's largest and most impactful cinema screens. So you can stand a chance of winning. To see how the brothers fare in action, simply SMS the keyword Despicable plus your name and city to 40675. And remember, please, you need to add the city in which you're going to be able to watch the screening at. Will the third installment in the franchise live up to the hype of its predecessors? Will the brothers work together, or will it be a battle of Gru versus Drew? Enter and you can find out.
Find the best entertainment at New Metro Cinemas. It's your scene.
Well, you're still tuned in to your Feel Good Breakfast show. When we return after the break, we'll take a financial turn in ways where you can save and budget better. I think it's very important to budget.
Yeah, and then once you become a millionaire, we'll show you how to make a pecan millionaire shortbread recipe. I've always wondered about that. What do millionaires call shortbread? Is it just shortbread? I don't know. We'll find out after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso, only on SABC3. Lovely to be hanging out with you on this chilly Thursday morning. Let's heat things up with your international entertainment news. So,
well, it is steamy indeed. Now, we're so used to seeing odd things in Hollywood, but the latest one coming from the most unlikely source, I'm talking about Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. Now, despite officially filing for divorce in April, nearly 2 years ago, after they announced the end of their decade-long marriage, the pair have reportedly flown to the Bahamas with their kids for a vacation. Now, according to an insider, Ben and Jen are not reuniting, but they are making sure that they have a good co-parenting relationship for the sake of the kids.
do they have like a couple name like we spoke about it earlier?
Bennifer. They were
Bennifer. Okay.
It's not a vacation. It's a proper...
Well, I don't know. I mean, I suppose it could be strange. You know, your soon-to-be ex is going on a holiday with each other and the kids. But, I mean, if that's what it takes for them to make their relationship work for the kids, I think there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, no, they're sending a very important message out
Yes.
there.
Well, listen, staying with things, we did promise it's going to get hot. We're moving on to Rihanna, who has some wild thoughts, and I'm not talking about her new song. We may have just discovered the inspiration for the hit, though. A mysterious dark-haired man who Riri was spotted getting more than cozy with in Spain. Now, the pair was spotted kissing for quite a while, and at one point even seeing Rihanna flashing a huge smile while she was in the pool with what looks to be her new man. There's no word from Camp Rihanna yet whether he is the new man, but it seems like she's really, really happy.
Can we call him cozy
Carlos.
as well?
He looks like a
He does look like a
Carlos.
Carlosito. Well, there we have it, gents.
No, that's all right.
That was steamy indeed. Thank you so much, Zoe. So now we're going to take a different turn and get artistic here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning. So imagine if a gallery went and took the leap to give any and all artists the opportunity to take their expertise to the next level. Well, it might sound like an idealistic dream, but there is in fact a studio here in Cape Town that is doing just that, giving any and all artists the opportunity to be a part of an exhibition with one common theme, cattle skulls. Very interesting.
In 2014, Blake Combrink was approached by a local Woodstock resident named Stephen, who had cattle skulls for sale. Blake saw an artistic opportunity and started the Primal Herd Project, where individuals with a desire to apply their talent used cattle skulls as the medium to express their artistic style.
Primal Herd concept started with the skulls. We hand them out to different artists as blank canvases, and the artists were actually just found through wishing to work on the canvas. I've always felt like I think art is so varied and so different, and not everything will appeal to everyone. But for me, as an art gallery, I feel my mission is to just look for passion and look for people who are driven to create, and I think that brings across the message very well. Adam Weston is, I would say, one of my favorites. Artist to work with the skulls, because I believe he also really understands the concept and is also inspired by the same ultimate goal. And I think that's what we're trying to build is that community, and that's the idea of the Primal Herd, is to create a community.
As a graphic designer, Michelle Adam Weston has taken a detour from his usual art form using computers and brought a fresh perspective on carving by creating intricate designs on the skulls.
Bone is one of the most ancient materials used by man. So from wood to rock to bone, it's always been there around. And each bone is an individual piece in itself. So when I started this project with Next Gallery, we had a cow skull to work with. And I started off by painting the skull. It's a very interesting process, layering on a natural material like bone because it is so porous. From that process, I learned quite a lot. And we live in a time where there's inspiration all around you. What I want to try and do is take what is there, find the uniqueness of the skull, and bring that out into something beautiful, to give it a second life, that from something forgotten in a field out in the Karoo or the desert to the most beautiful piece that this skull can become, to be something that can talk to people and give them an interest in what an animal is, where it comes from, what is its story. Because every animal, every being on this planet has a story.
The aim of the project is to connect with and unite communities. It also has no regulations or limitations placed on the artists except a deadline. And there's also a skull painted by an 11-year-old boy named Ryan.
I'm trying to make another skull with someone's face on it, and that's how I'm gonna get more money. And then I'm gonna make drawings and that stuff, and then just gonna paint more and more. And if I'm older, I wanna be a professional artist.
So I walked into the next gallery and I started having a conversation with Blake just about what he was doing, and I found it very amazing that he was bringing democracy to art. So instead of having a high-end gallery with a famous artist, with Next, it didn't matter where you studied. If you wanted to pursue a career in art, you could. Anyone off the street, doesn't matter your economic background, your culture, your location. If you have a passion for art, go for it and do it. And Blake will try and guide you towards a career where you can sustain yourself.
All right, so we are about to jump into the kitchen with the lovely Angie Boyd this morning, making this delicious-looking pecan Millionaire shortbread. It looks amazing. But before we get there, I think Angie and Zoe, we can all agree that when it comes to saving and budgeting, we can all do just a little bit better.
We can indeed, but luckily there are options out there that makes the job easier and even more rewarding.
Now, saving is often one of those things that's easier said than done, especially when you're trying to make that money straight until the end of the month. That on its own is a challenge. But here to shed some light on how we can save and budget more effectively is Vanessa Singh and Desmond Osmond from Nedbank. Always a pleasure to be having you here in our studio to chat all things money and how we can be a bit more, clever about it and make it last a bit more. Because right now, we're in tough economic times. And are you guys feeling it like we... Are you feeling it?
Absolutely.
Got to tighten the belt a little bit, go out a little less, and when you're ordering, just kind of actually go across the page and look at the price of what you're ordering. But let's quickly talk about how the My Pocket account can help all of us as South Africans save a little better.
When people put their salaries into an account, they have expenses, okay? Now, when you have expenses, if you're not using the money immediately, you'd want your money to work harder for you.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
And in working harder for you, we're saying just budget like you normally do, but in this 5 Rand account, create your savings pockets. You have as much as 10, right, Des?
Yeah, as much as
so
10 pockets.
10 pockets, and each pocket you name.
Yeah.
My grocery pocket, my expenses pocket, whatever the case may be, and those pockets earn you interest at a phenomenal rate.
5.5% per pocket.
Per pocket, and you can have up to 10 of them. It's literally like searching, like in this pocket of my jeans, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the jacket that I'm wearing. You can have money stowed away in each one of those, earning 5.5%.
Exactly.
Why do you think is it that compartmentalizing money like that would help us save better? What does it do to you mentally and in the way that you think about money?
It gives you a conscious thought of what you are doing. So if you remember when we were all young, I was once young, if you went out, if say you went out to a movie, I don't want to say a nightclub, and you wanted to say to yourself, I know I need to get home after the movie. This is my transport pocket. You put that in your back pocket because you know you're going to take a taxi home. And then you say, well, I'm going to need popcorn and maybe a Coke. You put that in your front pocket, and then you're going to need to get yourself the movie tickets. That's in my left pocket. So it really gets you to compartmentalize your money and therefore think about this money is for an X purpose. If I've bought the tickets and they turn out to be a little bit more expensive than I thought they would be, I know up front that if I get more money, I'm getting it out of my popcorn money. Maybe I'll get a smaller popcorn, but I'm definitely not getting it out of my transport money because that's not going to change.
Yeah.
So now already it's helped you budget and helped you say, can I use this versus that? Or can I go to this movie versus having less popcorn or maybe not even buying that movie ticket?
Yeah.
So already we're getting you to think about money slightly differently.
Yeah.
When money is sitting in one big pot, it looks as if it's infinite. Well,
that's so
the
true.
problem is it can grow very finite very quickly because if it doesn't serve a purpose, then you're not thinking about it.
Yeah. But also there's something to be said about being able to, because I do it quite a lot. Whenever I receive money from a gig or at the end of the month, salary comes in, I always have a mental picture of a certain portion of that amount going out into a savings account so that it's out of mind and out of sight and out of mind. And I know that it's
and
there
away
for
from temptation.
Exactly, exactly. But then what about the access to the money? So once I've got these 10 different pockets and they're all there earning a beautiful 5.5%, how quickly can I gain access to that money once I know that, cool, I've reached the goal, I needed to buy a Tag Heuer timepiece. Now I've got it, now I need it.
Immediately. You just transfer it out of your pocket into your 5-rand account and you can use it.
As simple as that.
But the reason why we made you consciously transfer it, because you've got to think hard about, I'm spending this money. Do I really want to try? So it's all about the psychology of how you're spending. So when you have to consciously transfer that money out of your savings pocket, where you're earning 5.5%, put it into your normal bank account and then buy something, you're going to think twice. Yeah?
Well, thank you so much once again to both of you for being here and giving us some very, very good advice. And I think sometimes the hardest thing about saving is just getting started in the first place. But knowing that your spending habits and identifying where exactly you can cut back, that's the very first step that you need to take. And of course, to find out more about how you can save with Nedbank's My Pocket account, you can visit nedbank.co.za for more details.
I'm a dreamer, a doer. I know the hustle. I just need my money to hustle for me.
There you have it, some great tips on budgeting and saving on your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning. Right now on the Expresso menu, something delicious, something sweet. We're talking about Pecan Millionaire's shortbread with the lovely Angie Boyd this morning. And I did not know this, but Millionaire shortbread actually originated in Scotland. But the reason why it's called Millionaire's is unknown. We don't know. But hey, it is still delicious. Angie's here to show us exactly how to put it together. It's going to be amazing. Lovely, Angie. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Lovely. Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Looking forward to this. I see some dark chocolate in there, and it looks all deliciousness right there. But it leaves me wondering, though, what would actual millionaires call it if they had to eat?
That's true.
Just
They'd
shortbread.
call it cheap shortbread.
Cheap shortbread. Maybe. I don't know. It's like, what is Brazil nuts? In Brazil, they would just call it nuts. I don't know. You know? Let's make some Pecan Millionaire shortbread, shall we? Where do we start?
Okay, we're going to start. We're going to add some chocolate. We're going to get that melted first.
Okay.
So this is the topping. So I just want to get it melted. We've got some already on the go.
Okay.
So
is that all dark chocolate, or is this
just... It's got to be dark chocolate,
okay,
because everything else is quite sweet. So lovely dark chocolate. It's got a bit of that orange hint to it, which I think is quite nice. So that's melting. And then while that's melting, I'm going to make the filling. So this is your caramel filling. We've got condensed milk.
Right.
Because you've got to have condensed milk in caramel.
Oh, and
brown sugar.
Milk, all right.
I like the brown sugar because it gives you that lovely caramelly flavour as well. Lots of butter. So you can tell this is extremely good for your heart.
Absolutely.
That's probably why you have to be a millionaire, so you can get to the doctor and pay for your health. And
look,
then
man, you only need like one little square, you know? That's enough to satisfy your
It's so
sweet
rich
needs.
that you really just need one little square.
Yeah.
So what we do is this will now melt down.
Okay.
Sugar needs to dissolve, butter needs to melt, and then you just keep stirring it. What happens with the condensed milk is sometimes it wants to catch on the bottom, so you've got to keep it moving the whole time.
I see.
And then we obviously can't wait that long because it takes a good 10 minutes.
Yes.
And then what you'll end up with is this lovely sort of rich, dark caramel fudge toffee sort of filling.
Yeah.
So that's your filling. And then what we've got here is our pre-baked base.
Right.
So this is where the shortbread part comes in. So this
Okay.
is a classic shortbread base. You could use any of your favorite shortbread recipes. Doesn't have to be this particular one.
Okay.
If you're really lazy, you can even take, your crushed biscuit crumbs and butter and then just press it into the bottom.
Right.
So
same effect.
same effect. The important thing is to have either foil or baking paper lining your tin and sort of hanging over, because when you're done and it's set, you want to be able to pull the whole thing out.
I see.
And you won't be able to pull it out unless you've got one of those loose-bottomed pans.
So we've just baked a kind of little bottom layer.
It's been baked at 160, a nice low temperature. You just want a bit of colour on there.
All right.
And then you pour your caramel in.
Oh, look at that, eh?
And you can make this as big or as small as you like.
Yeah.
Pour the caramel in, and then you pop it in the fridge, leave it to set.
Oh, so pop it in the fridge?
Yeah, it's got to set for about an hour or so until it's nice and firm.
Make sure that it covers it evenly all over the place.
That's the important part.
Beautiful, okay.
and then once it's firm and set,
okay, so you put it in the fridge
it's now
first.
totally set. Then you take your melted chocolate, which all these lovely orange bits are in, which I think is divine. Pour that over, spread it out nice and evenly, and then we've got some pecan nuts. this just adds a little extra crunch. And I quite like the nuttiness, and the pecans are slightly bitter as well. So you've got a little bit of bitter with your sweet.
Yes.
And then the most important part of all is to take some salt.
Some salt.
So this sounds a bit weird because salt and sweet, but it goes so well.
It's a good combination. I know that some of the dark chocolates are sold with, you know,
with
the sea salt.
In.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And you can see it's a very decadent kind of little treat as well.
Super
SMS the
decadent.
keyword sweet to 33728. That's sweet to 33728. And you could make your very own pecan Millionaire's shortbread. And that's it. So dusting of salt with the pecan nuts. And it looks amazing.
Yeah, so you've got bitter, sweet, and salty all in one go.
All of those flavor profiles. We love it. Thank you so much, Angie. Really appreciate it. Check it out on our website as well, expressoshow.com. And that keyword, once again, is sweet. SMS that to 33728.
Oh, breakfast is served.
Come on, you got far too many there. Just bring a couple over here. So we've got another performance coming from Hillsong. They were amazing first up, and they're going to blow our minds yet again, and that's ahead of the Encounter Youth Conference. Something really special. We'll get into those details after the break.
Things are going to be wild on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. I'm talking about getting into the wild. We're going to talk about understanding animal conflict. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you after the break.
Oh, that click just comes through at the beginning. Yeah.
In the fire for so long, be show me better. The kind of love, it's ever the one I want. I'm lifting you higher. There's nothing that I'd rather do.
It's bleeding through, yeah, the click.
There's no one I love more than you. I never knew a love like this before. The kind of love that I cannot find on my own. I've seen the world, but I have never been so sure that I want your heart. God, I just wanna be with you. Wanna be with your love. Like nothing I've seen, my wildest dreams to come close. I've never known better. Things like this, I cannot resist. You know, I'll listen to you.
Here we go. He's got it.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso, and your timing is perfect. We've got the Hillsong worship team here in studio. They've blown us away with one brilliant performance, and they're back with another, of course, ahead of a vitally important conference. It's their Encounter Youth Conference, such an important platform. But right now, they're going to funk it up with a performance of Where You Are.
Come on, South Africa, let's see your hands. I lived, I don't know why, ain't in the fire for so long, but you show me better, a new kind of love, it's ever the one I want, I'll listen to you higher. to the sweet elevation of praises. There's no one I love more than you. I never knew a love like this before. The kind of love that I cannot find on my own. I see the world that I have never been so sure that I want your heart. God, I just wanna be with you are. I just wanna be with your love. Like nothing I've seen, my wildest dreams don't come close. I never know better. Living like this, I cannot resist you, Lord. I'm lifting you higher. There's nothing that I'd rather do. It's sweet elevation of praises. There's no one I love more than you. I never knew a love like this before. The kind of love that I cannot find on my own. I see the world that I have never been so sure that I want your heart. God, I just want to see your hands, y'all. Cool, let's see your hands at home. Here we go, get it, dance. Can't imagine what I'll be like on my own. Yeah, I made up my heart. This love is all I've got. You're the only one I've ever living for. Sweet elevation of praises. There's no one I love more than you. I never knew a love like this before. The kind of love that I cannot find on my own. I see the world. Sure, but I want your heart. God, I just want you in there. I just wanna be with you. Oh yeah, here we go. We're gonna get a little dance. I just wanna be with you.
Oh, I did warn you it was gonna get funky in here, guys. Thank you so much. It's the Hillsong worship team. Just a taste of what you can get at their Encounter Youth Festival. It's happening from the 12th to the 14th of July at the Hillsong Church in Johannesburg, Cape Town and Pretoria, spreading a message of love, hope and inclusion. We absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much.
Brilliant performance indeed. Well, right now, let's quickly get a roundup of your news headlines for your Thursday morning. En ons begin met jou nasionale nuus. Die Johannesburgse Hooggeregshof het gelas dat openbare skole reg oor die land nie 'n bepaalde godsdiens mag voorstaan nie. Regter Willem van der Linde het bevind dat om een godsdiens bo ander te stel, die onderwyswet oortree word. Hy het gesê openbare skole moet vir die behoeftes van leerders van alle godsdienste voorsiening maak. Die organisasie vir godsdienstonderrig en demokrasie het versoek dat die hof die godsdienstbeleid van 6 skole in Gauteng en Wes-Kaapland wat hulle self tot die Christelike geloof verbind het, ongrondwetlik verklaar. En dan Anglo Gold Ashanti het aangedui dat hy sy arbeidsmag met sowat 8500 werkers gaan verminder, 'n stap wat deur sommige gesien word as die eerste slag teen die mynwese as gevolg van die mynhandves. Maar Anglo Gold Ashanti sê die stap is deel van sy hersamenstelling. Die minister van mineraalbronne, Mosebenzwe Zwane, ontmoet môre die maatskappy se HIB om oor alles op hoogte gestel te word. Die Kamer van Mynwese, wat 90% van die nywerheid verteenwoordig, het 'n dringende hofbevel gevra om die implementering van die mynhandves te keer. In jou internasionale nuus vanoggend, die militêr in Venezuela soek na 'n renegaat polisieoffisier van 'n elite eenheid wat daarvan verdink word dat hy 'n helikopteraanval op die land se Hooggeregshof uitgevoer het. Oscar Perez het video's op Instagram geplaas waarin hy die aanval erken en ook 'n beroep op sy landgenote doen om teen die bewind van president Nicolas Maduro op te staan. Sy huis is deursoek en die president het die Gaanse weermag op gereedheidsgrondslag geplaas. Venezuela bevind hom midde 'n ernstige ekonomiese en politieke krisis. En ten slotte, Kenia het die eerste land in Afrika geword wat 'n generiese weergawe van die huidige voorkeurmedikasie van mense met HIV bekendgestel het. Die Keniaanse regering en die wêreldwye gesondheidsinisiatief Unity het bekend gemaak dat Kenia die generiese weergawe van Dolutegravir vir roetinegebruik beskikbaar sal stel. Dit sal niks kos nie en sal deel uitmaak van die land se gratis antiretrowale program in openbare hospitale. En dit was waar ons jou nuusoortrekker los vir jou donderdagoggend.
We start with cricket this morning, and the South African women's cricket team had to settle for a share of the points yesterday as their World Cup game against New Zealand's White Ferns was abandoned due to rain. Without a ball being bowled, the no result does mean that South Africa move up from 5th to 2nd place on the overall standings, while New Zealand currently occupy that top spot. The Women's World Cup continues today as the West Indies take on India. Then on to football. Chile have booked their place in the final of the Confederations Cup last night. That was after seeing out a 3-0 penalty victory over Portugal. After a 90-minute goalless draw and extra time as well, Chilean goalkeeper Claudio Bravo was the man of the moment as he saved all 3 Portugal penalties to help his side move on to that final game. And Chile's opponents in the final will be decided tonight as World Cup holders Germany, albeit a new-look young German side, come up against Mexico in that second semi-final. Then match day 4 of the COSAFA Cup took place yesterday, and it saw a goalless draw in the game between Zimbabwe and Madagascar. And despite the shared points, Zimbabwe keep their place at the summit of Group B, while Madagascar, they lie in second with 1 round of group fixtures remaining. There's more COSAFA Cup action tonight as Malawi face Angola and Tanzania battle Mauritius. And we end on a celebratory note this morning. Olympic gold medalist Wade van Niekerk has done it again. He broke the 300-meter world record by 0.4 seconds last night. That was at the Golden Spike meeting in Ostrava. Van Niekerk storming to victory in a time of 30.81 seconds, beating the previous record of 30.85 set by the great American sprinter Michael Johnson, believe it or not, in Pretoria 17 years ago. And also on the night, Jamaica's Usain Bolt crossed the line first in the 100-meter sprint in a time of 10.06 seconds. But let's hear it one last time for Mr. Wade van Niekerk on another International Wade van Niekerk Day.
Well, let's take one final look at your traffic, starting off in Gauteng in Bayers Park. Now, there's been an accident on the N12 westbound near Atlas Road exit, so you can expect delays approaching the scene. In Cape Town and Belleville on the N1 inbound, the earlier accident at Gilbason Drive has been moved to the side of the carriageway, but you can still expect some heavy delays on that route. In Lansdowne, traffic is slow moving. That's on the M5 northbound from Racecourse Road and the N2 interchange. That's where we leave your traffic on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
So 4 minute na 8 kom ons kyk vinnig vir 'n laaste keertjie na jou weer. En dit lyk maar meestal koue temperature vir meeste dele van die land met sonnige toestande en so 'n bietjie reën wat môre voorspel is vir die moederstad. Maar vandag jou temperature Polokwane skop af op 4 grade minimum en 'n maksimum van 21. Mbombela 8:21, Pretoria 5:21, Johannesburg begin op 4 grade minimum en 'n maksimum van 19. Mahikeng 8:23, Klerksdorp 5:21. Kimberley 4 en 'n maksimum van 18. Bloemfontein baie koud vanoggend -1. Dit bly koel met 'n maksimum van 18. Richards Bay 15:21. Pietermaritzburg 7 en 'n maksimum van 18. Durban kicking off on 15 with a maximum of 20. Mthatha 4:18. East London 13 with a maximum of 20. Cradock 5:18. Port Elizabeth 10:20. George 8:19. Sutherland on 4 degrees minimum and a maximum of 13. Cape Town 10:17. Worcester 5:19. Springbok 4 and a maximum of 19. Uppington starting off on 9 degrees with a maximum of 22 degrees. And that's a wrap of your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show for your Thursday morning.
Well, we're connecting with you on social media. Always love hearing from you. And you know, we connect, well, we affect the nation by changing the generation. And Hillsong, they were in studio this morning ahead of their Encounter conference taking place between the 12th and the 14th of July. We asked you on social media, what did you think of their performance? And everyone loved it. Anamari says, awesome. Thanks, Expresso, for such a fabulous show that includes all kinds of music. I love Hillsong, and their music draws people into the presence of God. Expresso is a show focused on all people and uniting the nation in the process. Well done. Elizabeth also saying, good morning, Expresso team. Hillsong, the best gospel group. Enjoyed it. Faye says, what a good way to start the day. Praising our Jesus. Thank you, Expresso. Well, continue to connect with us on social media. Remember to use our hashtag Expresso Show.
Now, a simple yet powerful gesture. Fill a suitcase and help improve someone's life. That's exactly what you can do as part of Travel Start's 27 Suitcases campaign. So from now up until the 18th of July, Travel Start is collecting clothes, toiletries, non-perishable food and children's toys.
Yeah, man, it's very, very special indeed. Now, these will fill 27 suitcases and be sent to 27 charities across South Africa on Mandela Day. Now, you can drop off your donations at the Travel Start head office in Cape Town and get a free cup of coffee while you visit the Travel Start blog as well for details. You can do that, and you can find out all of the drop-off points around the country. Special initiative indeed, eh?
Very, very cool. We'll be doing our drop-offs later this morning. Love it.
Well, listen, we're taking a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast show. We're going into the wild, and it's all about understanding animal conflict. So if you've got a comment or a question, our lines are open. It's 021-430-9881. And then we'll also bring you an inspirational story about impacting the youth through horseback riding. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you after the break.
When you feed your dog's health, you also feed his happiness. And wonderful things can happen. Like he's able to go from 0 to boundless get up and go. And a fluffier coat unlocks maximum cuddle potential. Because you're feeding the clinically proven nutrition of Hill's Science Plan. Precisely prepared with top quality ingredients. After all, when he's healthier, he's happier. And a dog's tail never lies. Give him the Science of Happy, found in the brand recommended by vets worldwide.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. You're live with Expresso as we head back into the wild, one of my favorite segments on the show. And today it comes with a lot of impact. More and more, we're seeing reports of non-carnivorous animals in the wild attacking one another. Now, just last week, a video of a group of hippos fatally attacking a rhino circulated online. Is anything causing these animals to behave this way, or is it simply the way of the wild? And maybe we are just picking up more of this because of social media. With us in studio, we've got Selene Brophy, who obtained the exclusive to the animal attack story. Selene, welcome to the show, first of all. You can see I've been affected by this. We obviously can't show this video because it is quite graphic. It traumatized me, to be quite honest, and we love to apply human emotions. We kind of transfer our human understanding onto animals, and they don't exactly think or motivate what they do in the same way with emotion. But this, you kind of think in your mind that a water hole is a neutral zone, that this is a safe area where all animals can go and drink in peace and harmony, but not in this case. And the hippo definitely coming off second best, sadly, in this encounter. What actually happened here, do you think?
Well, basically, just to counter that train of thought, a lot of hunting actually happens in and around the waterholes because it's a place where, you know, the circle of life where all of the animals converge.
So they do feel safe.
Yeah, the predators do target the watering holes, but in this case, you're looking at, you know, two individuals that don't necessarily hunt each other, and the rhino was disadvantaged. There is a drought situation, so that could have impacted the way that they engaged with each other, as well as the fact that there are two of them. So theories are, you know, they could have been just to protect the mate as well. So
it was instinct just kicked in. And,
we have to remember this is the wild, and these things sort of do happen. And as you mentioned, with social media, with cell phones, we get to see a lot more of it. And a lot more things that it is graphic, and
yeah, and that's the thing. So please, I warn you, if you're going to go look at the video, please just bear that in mind, that it is quite hectic. Noticing that the rhino was missing its horn, do you think this would have turned out differently had the rhino been fully armed?
It's hard to say. It's one of the questions that we did pose on a poll on Traveller 24. And what essentially happened is that the hippo turned the table on the rhino and getting it into the water. And in the video, you can actually see it's giving it a few warning grunts, but yeah, the hippo was disadvantaged. The rhino was disadvantaged. It didn't have its horn, so it's really speculative.
That raises
it didn't
a deeper
have
question of us removing rhinos' horns to keep them
poaching,
safe. Yeah, from the greatest predator of them all. Now, you had the opportunity, and he wants to remain anonymous with good reason, because the story is out there all over the place. But the ranger who caught this incredible footage, Shane, what went through his mind?
In the reports, you know, you can see that he is really conflicted, because you're not really. They take visitors on the experiences, but you don't intervene. It is nature, and we posed the question, considering that the rhino was dehorned, should there have been interaction? But the general stance is, this is the wild. This is it was a choice, and it was a tough choice.
A very tough choice indeed, but thank you so much to you and your team for bringing the story out there. I think it's mind-blowing that we have access to the wild in this way, and hopefully this educates generations on what we can actually do in this case, and why we need to preserve our species. Absolutely
I think it
beautiful.
Just really does raise the issue of rhino poaching, and the fact that our big five, it's our natural heritage, and it deserves.
I'm so glad you used the word heritage. Selene, thank you so much, and again, congratulations to you and your team on covering this brilliant story. We'd love to hear from you as well. We're going to be opening the lines in a moment as we continue to talk wild encounters and conflict between animals, and of course conflict between animals and man. 021-430-9881. That's the number to have on speed dial.
Well, you know what? We are continuing the feel-good stories on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, because there's so much amazing potential among the youth of South Africa, and it's up to all of us to help them harness it and put it to good use and build great futures.
Absolutely. Now, one organization has settled up to do this and more by using the majesty of horses to help young people develop physically and mentally as well.
The things that I enjoy about horse riding is that, you know, it takes you out of the streets, number one, you know, if you're living a difficult life, you know what I mean? And when you're with horses, that's your time. There's nothing else that really matters in the world. And I mean, these are really, really beautiful creatures, and you do strike up a bond with them, and not only on one side, on both parties.
The Shimbashaba Community Trust is all about horses helping people. They restore a sense of purpose and self-worth through therapeutic riding and skills development in their sports training program.
Back in the day, you know, when I started with the vaulting, I used to work with the Soweto kids. So over here, I wanted to come around and see what the program is about here at Shimbashaba, what they do. And I saw the incredible work that they were doing with the kids. So I thought to myself, you know, what else can I do to just to give my time to come out here and teach them something that they don't have over here. the powers and healing of a horse or any animal. I mean, I think these guys have an incredible touch into human souls and everything like that. So when you look at them, you're like, oh no, that dog bites, oh no, that horse is not. The way they look at you as a human, and they give you the chance to prove yourself wrong.
Based in the Dipsluit community, Shimba promotes education through equines, and their vaulting training has 2 Dipsluit youth competing at the World Championships this year.
The Shimba Community Trust was started about 5 or 6 years ago, and the aim of the trust is to build self-esteem and hope amongst people through our Horses Helping People programs, and those are both ground-based and riding. And as you can see behind me, that's extended to vaulting, where children from the community come and attend grassroots community programs, and out of that we talent identify children to go on to competitions. Horses in animal-assisted therapy goes back a very long way, and today it's used to augment a lot of what physiotherapists do with children and adults on a moving ball, a Pilates ball. Pretty much that's done on the back of a moving horse. As a lot of what you do in therapy, you're doing in sport, both of which are about strengthening the body and the mind and the spirit.
The children love their time in their paddocks, where they gain physical strength and build confidence amongst the many benefits of equine training.
I enjoy vaulting because we get to do a lot of new things and we get to challenge ourselves.
I enjoy horse vaulting because I get to do things that I've never done before.
My favourite move is swings, because when you swing it just feels, when you get it right, it feels like you're flying almost.
I enjoy the jump over, so that's when I stand in the handles and I throw somebody over me.
My favourite move is doing a backflip, because it's like kind of a dangerous move. That's what I like.
My favourite trick is all of them.
I have benefited because it has helped my stability and my strength a lot.
Also the interaction with your teammates as well as the horses. The reward you get out of it is completely different to any other type of sport.
The response to the work that the coaches have been involved in this project has been fantastic.
My aspirations for the future, I just want to bring South Africa on the map. I mean, the Europeans are really good at the sport, and that's where it comes from. I want to be maybe the first South African coach to make the top 5 or to be in the podium. That would be really good. And we have the tools, we have the horses, we have the fantastic vaulters, phenomenal kids that we work with. So yeah, I think I'm going to stick to it as long as I can, and we're going to make South Africa one of the top vaulting countries out there.
With great devotion to the animal and the riders, this initiative isn't horsing around and is helping young South Africans to reach their potential physically, emotionally and spiritually.
Beautiful initiative, and welcome back as we head into the wild. So now we've seen proof of this in terms of the videos that are circulating online. Are animals becoming more aggressive? It would seem so, but it might not be the case. The wild is the wild. And do we have anything to do with this drastic change in behavior? Or maybe it's the weather, we just don't know. So Julia Wood, manager of the Biodiversity Management Department for the City of Cape Town, is here today to talk about human-animal conflict in particular, and exactly what is causing the change in behavior, all this behavior in our animals. We're going to focus, yes, on the story that we've already broached, but I'm really interested to find out about our cities, our growing metropolitan areas. So, Julia, thank you so much for joining us. Love what you and your team do, and I'm sure you're very busy at the moment, but let's quickly focus on that story that we've just seen now with the two hippos killing a rhino, essentially, and that is a dramatic, almost traumatic video to watch, but it does highlight the fact that this is the wild. Is the drought, is the weather, what do you think is exacerbating that situation right there?
Well, there's many factors, and this could be, and it is a rare occurrence, and it could be just, it could be as a result of many factors. Obviously, obviously climate change is making things drier, but the big thing is habitat fragmentation. That's having a much bigger impact on animals, because, and especially in the city, where we actually sort of starting to develop into natural areas, and it displaces a lot of species. And especially in Cape Town, you start sort of interacting and living with species that actually live in green belts, like the Constantia green belts, like the caracal, the porcupine, the genet. otters, so there's actually a lot more wildlife that live in the city, and we don't often necessarily see it, but it's there, and I've been absolutely amazed about within the city, and for example in Cape Town, where we have very, very rare animals and very rare plants. Some species only occur in the city. So it's really, really important for us to realize how important Cape Town and how important biodiversity and in the rest of South Africa. So it could be as a result of the drought, it could not, that conflict, but probably the biggest thing that animals are facing at the moment is actual fragmentation, and the migration routes have changed, and we have much smaller areas for animals, and this just displaces them.
Is there a voice for the animal in terms of moving forward? Because it doesn't seem like, I mean, our cities are only going to get bigger.
Absolutely.
What is the answer? What is the next step? Are we going to be in a position to protect these species? Certainly here in the Cape, very precious, limited species.
Absolutely.
What is the way forward?
Well, the first thing is South Africa has done a lot of conservation planning, where they've looked at protected areas. They also looked at protected areas and what is adjacent to protected areas. So, for example, if you have a protected area completely surrounded by urban area, you have less animals that can move in and out, whereas if you have a protected area and some adjacent land where animals can move, for example, agriculture land. So South Africa has done a lot towards actually producing maps, and making sure that that we can try and conserve protected areas and also conserve some of the migration corridors. And I also know, some of these big frontier parks as well as part of that. But specifically in the city of Cape Town, we've looked very, very much at trying to conserve areas that can conserve our very rare vegetation, but also provide some of those routes for animals and mammals. But often you have to intervene to move the animals around. For example, our grasbock, they become very fragmented in our tiny
and you need them to be able to breed and meet each other.
So what we do is we do game counts, and then we actually move the animals, and we've got permission to move the animals between our spaces in the city, sort of to move them around. And for example, like we've got a small hippo population at Rondevlei, which is sort of near the False Bay coastline. And we can only have about 5 or 6 animals, one family group. So whenever a small male grows and then fights with dad, then he's displaced.
And now we know what they can do.
Yeah, and so then we have to go and catch him, and we then make agreements with other nature reserves in the Western Cape.
So it really
and move them off, and then we have these agreements about, and usually the animal remains our property, but then we agree to loan animals and that. So we do quite a lot of that, and that does help. But often animals, for example, the very rare western leopard toad, by its very nature, it doesn't stay in protected areas. It lives like in people's gardens.
It's a master escape artist.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the big thing is to make people aware of animals.
I love that. Well, we're going to continue doing that this morning. We'd love to hear from you as well. Call us with your eco and wildlife-related questions. Tell us maybe about some of the encounters you've had with wild animals. The number to call 021-430-9881, or you can drop us a comment on Facebook or Twitter.
That's right. Well, listen, we're going to continue that conversation talking about, or at least understanding, animal conflict. Just to repeat that number, it's 021-430-9881 if you've got a comment or a question.
Yeah, man, very interesting indeed. And then just ahead of the school holidays, if you're thinking about a whole family trip, including your pets, we've got some great advice for you.
Struggle with commitment? Before trying anywhere else, book on Travel Start. We will turn your guilt trips into good trips. Book flights from 499 Rand, only on travelstart.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we head back into the wild, and we are sitting with Julia Wood, and we are talking about human-animal conflict becoming more and more likely that as the population grows and our cities grow and we take up more space, that our encounters with South African wildlife will occur. And we've been inviting your calls, and we've got Karen Rademacher on the line right now with a comment or question. Karen, a very good morning. You're speaking to Graham and Julia here. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Loving this conversation this morning. We've got a real pro and expert on our couch this morning. But do you have a question or a comment for us?
Well, I was contacted by our team because we've got a young man who made it through 16 days of farm fires, and I don't know what all. Cody, our pony, has become quite famous around South Africa. He's a burn victim of note, and yeah, we've just been wondering how on earth he managed to cope out there on his own.
So where exactly did you find him, and what condition was Cody in when you found him?
He was in a shocking condition. I would never have recognized him. He had extensive burns to his face. It looked like he's lost both his eyes. He was very thin, disoriented, but definitely on his way home, directly on his way home. He'd made it about 100 meters from the farm. And people were trying to stop him from crossing the N2. And I think that was quite upsetting for him because he'd made it that far. Yeah. And he just had that little bit to go. It was initially thought he'd have to be put down immediately, but you could just see the determination and the strength.
He's a fighter, yeah.
In this little guy. And there was just no ways. You know, we had to give him a fighting chance, and he's proving us right. Oh. He's making a remarkable recovery, and you know, he amazes us every single day.
Oh, that is so lovely. Thank you so much for highlighting that story. Obviously, we really do spare a thought, send all of our love and support to all of those affected by the veld fires. I mean, this is an amazing encounter. Yeah, obviously in very extreme circumstances. What encounters have stood out for you in your experience? Anything jump to mind?
Yes, well, the big thing, and I think we can actually have to just carry on from the discussion we're having, you know, we live in a fire-prone environment, and we are going to have fires. But the big thing that is very stark is when it's indigenous vegetation without alien vegetation. The fires burn very fast. They burn, you know, very clean.
They burn
and
out,
obviously that was a domestic animal, but usually wild animals manage to either escape, they find refuge, they bury themselves in the ground, they run, they flee, and there's very few animals that get caught. But especially a lot of the fires like Knysna, which had lots and lots of invasive vegetation, and invasive vegetation burns like often 10 times hotter, and it becomes very messy and stuff. And that is often where animals and domestic animals, but often wild animals get trapped and they can get burnt as a result or get some injuries. And I think it's very, really important for us, and I know the Knysna municipality in Eden, they are looking at, and in fact where we had our fires in 2014, it just brings up the stark thing that we live in a fire-prone environment, but we need to protect our indigenous vegetation, and we need to be very careful of planting aliens because,
it really is. It's a complete
you know, because then it
system,
starts making the situation far worse, and it can actually be life-threatening as well. So,
sure. Incredible stuff. We've got another caller on the line. Michael, a very good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm phoning from Hermanus. I'm just trying to address the baboon problem.
Okay.
We have a virtual fence, which is lions roaring and leopards, and it's not working. We know where they are, but what my proposition is that it's a fire break. Come, provide them with local food, which is it's a ground cover that actually helps the fire break, and just stop them in their tracks before they get down to the rubbish bins.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So this obviously is something here in the Cape has been around for a long time.
Huge, yes. And I mean, and again, we have moved into baboon areas, you know, so, and especially baboons, they although they will go up at night to sleep, they don't generally live high in the mountains where the food is, the fynbos is not as productive. They actually like to forage more kind of on the granite soils where it's more productive. And of course, this is where they encounter humans, because that's where we've expanded our urban area into. So the baboon issue is a big problem, and I agree with the caller, is that some animals, it's very difficult to live with them, because baboons, they steal food, they become aggressive, and because wild animals don't usually interact with people, they will move away from people. But if they've been fed, or if they, I mean, if you're a baboon and you've got to eat dry roots, or you can go and steal a loaf of bread. Wow, you know. But I agree, the big thing is to try and keep them out of the urban area. And there have been things in some areas like Gordons Bay. We've done the virtual fence where you say that, you know, they can't come beyond this point, and it's worked very well. But there's obviously other places that it doesn't work as well. So we need to look at a whole lot of alternatives. But the big thing is to try and keep them out of urban areas and try and keep them wild baboons and not eating human food. And that's the big thing. And it's always going to be a conflict. And I mean, I know baboons are persecuted right across Africa. And it's really, really important for us to try and keep baboons wild.
Oh, you know, I'd love to sit with you entire morning. You and your team at the Biodiversity Management Centre, what you do for the city is amazing. Thank you so much for taking a time out today. Thank you so much to our callers this morning. A truly unbelievable excursion into the wild today. But do a little trolling online. There are some amazing videos out there. Educate yourself, educate your community on these encounters with animals. We all have a role to play.
Now, taking your pets on holiday is becoming increasingly popular, but before you start your journey, there are a couple of things that you should consider. Dr. Matt's a technical specialist from MSD Animal Health, the makers of Perfecto, is here to tell us about the best way to travel with your pets. Good morning, Dr. Matt. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
There we go. Good. Listen, holiday times, always fun to get to take the pets along, man. It's always a nice process. Look for all the pet-friendly places and
part of the family.
Yeah, incorporate them. But what are some of the very first things that you should consider when you are going to be taking your pets on holiday?
I think I would start with the planning. I would think about the destination, where you're going, what the climate is going to be. Is it going to be a different season to yours, different country, different province, with the activities that you're going to be doing with the animals there, and accordingly what you need to pack for that.
So let's say we are going to go on a long road trip, you know, we're taking the pups with, it's going to be great. What advice could you give? I mean, how do we make it easier and manageable for not only for you as the owner, but for the pets as well on that long stretches of road?
I think driving with the pets has become more and more common, and more people are doing it. And the idea is that you keep the animals safe, but also comfortable at the same time. I think long drives are extremely long for them, so you will need to stop every 2 to 4 hours, depending on the animal. And just keep them comfortable, take them out, stretch their legs, have some water, have some, you know, some time to really just relax and get out the vehicle. But also make sure that they're kept on the leash while you're doing that.
And I think also you've got to realize that once you're on holiday and you take your pets, I mean, accidents can happen, you know, you've got to be able to manage maybe a little accident situation. So besides the basic first aid kits, I mean, for your pup specifically, what are some of the things that you should pack, just the extra in case?
I think part of the first aid kit, you'll have all the normal medications that animal might need if it's a chronic patient of some form of condition. Over and above that, you have all your standard paraphernalia that goes with, your grooming kit, your bedding, anything else that's required, especially if you're going to do various activities with them. But more importantly, I would also make sure that you have a veterinary contact wherever you're going. So just in case you need that extra special care, there's someone there to help you.
Because I mean, they're like your kids, you know. You got to plan ahead for these things. Awesome, man. Looking forward to travel with my pets, that's for sure, because it's always such a fun experience. You know, get the whole family together, the kids, the walks on the beach, absolutely amazing. Taking your pets on holiday. So taking the whole family on holiday shouldn't mean that leaving the pets at home. And make sure, of course, that your pets are well looked after on your next trip as well. Join us for our next Perfecto segment, where Dr. Matz gives us some insight into the innovative tick and flea product, Perfecto.
Oh, thank you, Ewan and Dr. Matt. Now, if you're planning a walk, why not join the Perfecto team at the Delta Park in Johannesburg on Saturday, the 1st of July. That's from 7 to 10 a.m. and again at Huddle Park from 3 to 5 p.m. Then again on Sunday, the 2nd July, they will be at the Smuts House Museum from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the Woolies Dog Walk. Now, visit Perfecto's stand in the park to buy your Perfecto product online through ePet Store, the biggest online pet store in South Africa, and you'll get a 10% discount. discount. For more info, visit the Bravecto South Africa Facebook page.
For your extraordinary pet, you need extraordinary care. Give your dog 12 weeks protection against ticks and fleas in just one tasty treat with Bravecto.
All right now it's time for a bit of a throwback on your Thursday because it is hashtag Throwback Thursday. Zoe actually thought it was Wednesday.
No. We are closer to the weekend,
Tuesday,
guys. We are closer to the weekend. Please, we don't want to alarm you.
It's Thursday, Zoe. It's Thursday, okay.
What a cool throwback Thursday at that. We know the name David Kramer, one of the coolest. I think we're going to call him one of South Africa's favourite sons. He's been one of the biggest features in South African entertainment for ages. Because local musicians like him, he's been in the business for more than 30 years now. We thought we'd share some interesting facts that you might not know to celebrate his 66th birthday for our Throwback Thursday.
He is a true legend.
A lovely guy as well.
Very, very nice. Now, did you know that David received a bursary to study textile design? Hey, can you believe it? Yeah, so he graduated with an honours degree in 1974 at Leeds University.
Oh, then he took a bit of a turn, started his music career as a singer, songwriter, performing at folk clubs and campus concerts, and that was during the mid-1970s, very much as an activist as well, I think.
Yeah, man, and then some of the famous musicals that he helped compose include District 6, which was back in 1986, Fairyland, 1991, and Cat and the Kings, 1995.
That was a massive one.
You know, he knows what he's doing, when he goes behind the scenes.
I know, and he also has such a love of traditional South African music as well. He pours a huge amount into that, and that might have something to do with the fact that he received a degree of Doctor of Philosophy, a PhD, honoris causa at Stellenbosch University for that contribution to South Africa's cultural life as a versatile artist. So, David Kramer, we tip your famous hat, sir.
And I think,
we tip our hats to you.
Like one other thing that we can wrap up, he is always smiling. Yeah. He's always smiling. I was on a shoot the other day and he happened to walk past and he's like, Ewan, smile. Smile. And I was busy reading my brief. I was like,
was he in a Poultry bus? Was he in a Poultry bus by any chance?
I'm sure it was parked off just. But yeah, let us know what is your favorite David Kramer's song. You can let us know your thoughts using that hashtag Expresso Show and connect with us on social media. A true legend for
we love you, sir.
Throwback Thursday.
Smile.
Oh, well, we know we always love giving you the best, and Africa's leading online travel agency, TravelStart, they want to make a difference in the lives of others, and you can be part of it. Now, the 27 Suitcases campaign is asking you to donate clothes, toiletries, non-perishable food and children toys from now until the 18th of July. Now, on Mandela Day, these goods will be sent to 27 charities across South Africa in 27 suitcases. Now, if you're in Cape Town, drop off your donations at the TravelStart head office and enjoy a free cup of coffee. And if you live elsewhere, all of the details on how to make a donation are available on the TravelStart blog.
So we're going to take a very quick ad break, then get very creative with our DIY. Princess Miss Zoe Brown is going to help us make a chic, she calls it chic, will it be chic? A DIY coffee table project. Very cool.
I think it's very cool. And then once you have your coffee table, or maybe you went out to buy a coffee table, some designer tips to make it look awesome. Cool.
Saving on travel is quick and easy with TravelStart. When you book any flight at travelstart.co.za, you will receive a voucher for 50% off your next 2 Uber rides to or from the airport. Simply enter the voucher code in the Uber app when you book your ride at your convenience. It's just another amazing way to enjoy hassle-free, budget-friendly travel when you have TravelStart to take you all the way for half the price with Uber.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Time for us to now turn our attention to our interior design. Now, when it comes to the table, the coffee table, styling it is a little bit of an art. They usually have prominent places in our living rooms, and they can be seen as the heart of our living room. So it's very important that they also look good, and equally important that they serve the function in the way that they're supposed to. That's why we've joined by architect and interior designer Zeanne Duminy to give us a few handy tips on how we can keep our coffee table stylish yet functional. Zeanne, very good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I have to admit, the coffee table in my house is generally for the flowers I just received or the magazine I just bought. But why do you say it's so important to actually pay attention to this multifunctional piece of furniture?
Well, Zoe, as you say, the coffee table really is the center and the heart of a lounge or a sitting area. And often it can be overlooked and just dumped with whatever you've kind of found around or need to throw down. But it really is something that we all sit around, and often when you have guests, it's something that's visually in their eyesight the whole time. So it's important to pay attention to it. Yes.
I love how during the ad break you quickly rearranged some things onto the coffee table. So what are your top tips for when it comes to paying attention to your coffee table?
Okay, so my top tips, I like to think of the 5 eyes. The first eye is for eyes. And the fact that the coffee table is visually part of the space. It needs to talk about the space as a whole. So don't let it completely alienate itself from the rest of the decor in the room. The second eye, I would say, is for intrigue. It's always great to have something that's slightly intriguing on the table, whether it be a beautiful African relic or an antique board game. Something that creates a little bit of a talking point, I think, is a great thing to add. I think the other eye is for interest, something that a book, a beautiful coffee table book, piles of them, that's my absolute best, books about interesting topics. The next eye, I would say, would be for incline. Use different heights on your table. Don't be scared to be to place all the objects at the same level. They'll just get lost. And then the third eye, I would say, the fifth eye, I would say, is for eye. Make your coffee table personal. You know, add a photo album of your family, or something that you've collected on a holiday, something that talks about you.
I love how everything you just mentioned is visually in front of me. I like to think the interesting piece is this little DIY project I made. But what are some of the things you would say we have to avoid when it comes to styling our coffee table?
I think there are a few things to avoid. One of them, most importantly, being clutter. A coffee table is, in essence, for a coffee tray. Make sure there's space for that, so that you're not rearranging your table before you put your tray down. I think also tattiness. Don't pile magazines that are going to be thumbed and create a little bit of tattiness on the table. And otherwise, I think those are the main important things. Don't let it become a dust collector. Make sure in that afternoon sunlight there isn't dust settled on it.
Okay.
Otherwise, just have fun, yeah.
Okay, well, you know what, when it comes to styling, of course, you get different types of coffee tables. Here in front of us, we have a round one, but what would you do differently to perhaps for a round one?
Well, I think round coffee tables are great, especially if you have kids, because they don't have those sharp corners that you have to worry about when they're like learning to walk around your table. And so don't be scared of a round table. I think with a round table, don't be scared to double up. Maybe have 2 or 3 round tables together.
Okay.
And the other point that I have is don't be scared to juxtapose shapes. Use a square on a round table. Use a square tray to collect things in the tray on a round table. I think that's what I would suggest. Yes.
Well, Zeanne, thank you so much for joining us this morning and sharing these interesting tips at least with us when it comes to your coffee table. Now, when it comes to a coffee table, there are always ways you can have some fun and do it yourself. So check out today's how-to. In our living spaces, there's always that one element that's overlooked. It is the center of attention, yet it is ready to serve us, holding our coffee cups, our favorite magazines, even the TV remotes. Do you want to know what that piece is? The coffee table, of course. These vary from brilliant palette pieces to mid-century coffee tables. Today, I'm putting my own spin onto this trend, and I'm going to show you how to make your own chic coffee table. For today's how-to, you will need some plywood, 4 industrial wheels, paint, a paintbrush, wood screws, a screwdriver, and some wood glue. For the body of our coffee table, we're going to use 4 pieces of plywood. You can also use pine wood. The dimensions of the plywood for this coffee table is 10 by 50 centimeters for the side pieces and 50 by 90 centimeters for the top and bottom. You could easily make a smaller version to use as a side table. To add a little character to our coffee table, we're going to paint one side of our panels with a dark gray for a graphic contrast. To attach our side panels to our bottom panel, I'm going to apply some wood glue where the edges will meet. To ensure our coffee table is nice and secure, we're going to add some screws to the top and the bottom for extra reinforcement. Last but not least, we're going to add our industrial wheels. These are so easy to use. You just screw them in, no drills or pilot holes are needed. This will make my coffee table easily movable to make space for a sleeper couch or an additional chair. Remember to use short screws, no longer than the depth of the wood, or they'll poke through on the other side. By simply adding a unique piece of furniture or an accessory to your living space, you can drastically transform the area. And with a little creativity, you too can create your own coffee table for your home. To view more of our how-to videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any suggestions, head on over to our Facebook page and drop me a message.
Awesome stuff,
job,
ZBZ. Yeah, DIY princess indeed.
So we're going to take a very quick ad break. Then it might be a section of society that we choose to ignore, but we are going to be advocating the protection of the rights of sex workers. Very important conversation. We'll join that after the break.
When you feed your dog's health, you also feed his happiness. And wonderful things can happen. Like he's able to go from 0 to boundless get up and go. And a fluffier coat unlocks maximum cuddle potential. Because you're feeding the clinically proven nutrition of Hill's Science Plan. Precisely prepared with top quality ingredients. After all, when he's healthier, he's happier. And a dog's tail never lies. Give him the Science of Happy, found in the brand recommended by vets worldwide.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and please now take a note. We'd like to advise all our viewers that the following discussion is of a mature nature. The concern over the rights and health of sex workers here in South Africa has been receiving intensified focus of late, as the recent ruling of the South African Law Reform Commission has seen the criminalized status of sex work remain so putting the health and well-being of these workers in jeopardy. And here from the TB/HIV Care Association to discuss how to understand why this ruling causes concern amongst human rights activists are Dr. Laurene Booysens and the Key Populations Program Manager, and Yolaan Andrews, a sex worker site manager here in Cape Town. Ladies, thank you so much. I could see you both nodding your head when I was talking about that ruling. This is a very controversial subject, understandably so. Why do we need to be so interested in this particular conversation in the care of the health of our sex workers here in South Africa? Maybe put that to you, Doc.
So I think that our opinion would be that health is a basic human right, and it shouldn't,
regardless of who you are.
For sure, it shouldn't matter what you do for a living. But it's not only important from the human rights perspective, it's also important from the public health perspective. South Africa is a country that has one of the highest rates of HIV in the world, and we all know that the common transmission of HIV happens through sexual intercourse. So sex workers are particularly vulnerable in terms of both contracting HIV, but also potentially transmitting HIV if the necessary precautions are not taken. So I think it's important to make an impact on the HIV epidemic in South Africa by looking after the healthcare needs of vulnerable people such as sex workers.
Such an obvious entry point to deal with the issue on a much larger scale, and that's exactly what you guys do at the TB/HIV Care Association. How does your work engage with sex workers? Give me a kind of rundown of what you guys do.
Well, I mean, there's very few organizations that deal with key populations such as sex workers. So TB/HIV Care is in terms of perfect, because we have strong support from the Department of Health as well as our funders, PEPFAR and Global Fund, in terms of providing a comprehensive health services. So one of the things that we do focus on is HIV testing, TB screening, STI testing, treatment as well if you have any symptoms, and then other primary healthcare services that they may not necessarily want to access from other facilities, such as family planning, pap smears. And then we are very fortunate that we can provide as well ARV treatment for those that are HIV positive to keep their viral loads down and make it less likely for them to transmit. But also we are now initiating PrEP, which is pre-exposure prophylaxis, which is an ARV treatment that they can actually take on a daily basis to minimize their risk of contracting HIV. And if sex workers are actually knowing what their rights are in terms of their health and their social well-being, less likely that this will spill over negatively to our communities.
And I suppose you're also starting a process of empowerment that might take them down a different path altogether, which is an incredibly powerful part of this. Maybe the legislation doesn't help in combating the stigmatization that is attached to that, but the public does have a role to play here. Doctor, what do we need to do? How do we weigh in on this very complex situation?
I think it's important for the general public domain to understand that if sex workers are stigmatized, criminalized, or if they're discriminated against, it's very difficult for them to access healthcare services. They function within the greater community. They may have partners and children, and their clients may also have partners and children. So if their healthcare needs are not addressed, this will obviously affect the greater community. So I think the first thing that we need to do is we need to watch our own response to vulnerable populations. We need to really start being insightful and empowering ourselves with knowledge. And we need to treat our vulnerable populations with dignity, with respect, and with greater understanding. I think we also need to really start reporting human rights violations and supporting reports of such violations within the communities that we operate in when we see that sex workers are being discriminated against, and also to support organizations such as TB/HIV Care and others that really work to the benefit and in the interest of sex workers.
We're going to put all of your contact details on our website. We'll try and direct as many people towards you as possible. Thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. I know this is what you do every day, so thank you so much for the efforts that you're putting in there as well. Hopefully this, in some part, starts to shift the way that people think and the way that we approach the most vulnerable members of our society. But ladies, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. We hope the discussion has helped to enlighten you do at home, that while we may not agree with the work that they do, we still do need to protect these members of our society. To find out more about the work that TB HIV Care does, as well as how you can help, you can visit tbhivcare.org.
Oh, well, listen, it's almost time for us to say goodbye. Make sure to connect with Hillsong for the Encounter Conference taking place 12 to 14 July. And it's for everyone from 7 to 12, that's grades, and ages 18 to 25.
It's going to be amazing. Thank you for joining us on your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Thursday morning. Graham, get in here, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Too much. Too much.
Cheers, guys. Okay.
Another Feel Good production.